Hi, I'm Richard Mackay.
And I'm David Bolt, and you are listening to the Wrong Bias podcast.
And on today's show, we have England international Sam Tolchard. Sam discusses his career highs and lows. There's a bit of 2022 Commonwealth Games chat and a tale about 3 England netball players, chocolate gatto and a cat. Also on the show we have the new Bowls England under-25 team manager Stuart Thomas. Stuart gives us an insight into his plans for the under-25 team. We have a chat about his bowls career and his involvement at Devon Indoor Bowls Club. We have an update on our competition. And of course, thanks to our 3 sponsors, Lean to Succeed, Bowls is Bowls and XX20 for their support. And here we are again, mate. Show number 34. It is actually officially 34 for anybody who tuned in at the last one, because we did record 34 last time, which was actually 33. But on the good side, mate, it means that the anniversary gift is still food.
Oh, champion.
We doubled up, mate. Double up.
On that score, then what was 33?
33 was iron.
Iron. Oh, great.
Iron, not ironing. Anyway, folks, just a quick word of congratulations to the young rising tennis star, mate, Emma Raducanu. Raducanu.
Tremendous. And I posted it, it's a Bowls, it's a Wrong Bias Bowls page, but I just thought, I posted it on both that one and the Bowls page. I just thought, what a fantastic thing she's just done.
Yeah.
If she turned up there as, qualified and she had the 6 games to win it, but to go there and play, what was it, 12 games? She had to play.
Yeah, through the qualifiers.
Or 10 games, whatever it was anyway. The way she's done it, a whole attitude to the way she did it, and as a role model to any young girls out there, and anybody who's a young aspiring sports person, then what an absolute unbelievable achievement. I watched it, and she will boss tennis for a long, long time looking at her.
Yeah.
She avoids injury. She's got unbelievable game. How she changes the direction of the ball is just unbelievable.
But all I'll say to you, how long before the good old British press knock her down?
Oh, they will. And we've had that before, haven't we? This is what we're talking about. It's like, they're great when things is going well, but they'll already be looking for stories to get some scary press out there that they'll love to do. Or
they'll be digging it, mate. They'll be digging it. I know we've touched on the Bowls England format, reverting back to a few of the old ways with Sam later on, which people can hear his views on it. One part that I still think needs to be addressing is the 1 qualifier. Unless you're in the top 13, then you get an extra qualifier for a county. I hope it's just for the Commonwealth Games, and I hope it does go back for 2 qualifiers, because I still think 2 qualifiers gives a better, wider appeal to people to enter a competition. I know these championships that's recently finished ran swimmingly. They really did. They flowed lovely, I must admit. But yeah. I think 2 qualifiers is my preference anyway. I don't know about you, mate.
I agree, and I think it is. I'd be amazed if it isn't due to the Commonwealth Games. They're very, very restricted on time.
Yeah.
The Commonwealth Games is the beginning of August, I think it is, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
So, it can only be that. There's got to be, again, common sense. But one good thing I would like to see out of it is that there is, I think, only a 2-day overlap, is it, with Skegness EBF Nationals, which hopefully is looked at as well in the future as well, because as we said before, I said when I walked into the indoor club, when I've been working there today, there's 2 things guaranteed in life. One of them's death, and the other one is the weather is absolutely bouncing the pavements.
September.
When we're indoors.
It is.
Always.
Yeah.
So we've still got until 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock at this stage of the season now.
Yeah.
Run the Nationals later in the season. I don't care if it's the ABF, I don't care if it's Bowls England. Just get it right so that people's got the opportunity to play both if they want to.
Yeah. A little bit closer to home, another sponsor for the podcast as well, mate, come on board.
Absolutely. Over the moon. Posted that on the page. Great to have XX20 up in Scotland supporting us. Passed on our thanks to Alex Marshall Sports, who did sponsor us in the past. And we were missing a retail sponsor, and they've come in and are going to provide a a £20 voucher every month for the next 12 months for our competitions.
Now it's time to catch up with Stuart Thomas.
So I'd like to welcome onto the show Stuart Thomas, who many may have seen on social media, is now the under-25 England manager for Bowls England. So first of all, congratulations on that, Stuart.
Thank you very much.
Welcome to the Wrong Bias podcast. It'll be an experience, I'm sure, as others have found out.
All good.
We've had our introductions. You've met Richie for the first time, which is always an experience in itself. And
one I won't forget. That's for sure.
Well, I didn't know we weren't supposed to go commando.
So let's moving on from that. Let's talk about yourself, Stu. So for those who obviously listen in and maybe don't know you, a lot of people obviously across the country do. Do you want to just give us a little bit of a background on yourself, when you started, etc., and achievements up to date?
Hopefully a lot of people will know me, certainly those that have been on the scene for a while. I've been playing bowls for about 40 years now, so started as a young lad, and my father used to play and he introduced me to the sport, so that was good. I had a bit of success over the years. I think I've been to 8 national finals now, won 4, lost 4, so that's not too bad. But the last one was a few years back. I managed to get in the England team for a very short tenure. Had 1 year in the senior team and 1 year in the junior team. Thoroughly enjoyed those times. Yeah, loved the bowls. Hadn't played outdoor bowls for about 6 years. And then just thought to myself, do you know what? It's time that you gave something back to bowls, really. Took a fair bit out of the game over the years and never really thought about getting involved in the other side of the sport. And now I'm not really playing at that level. It just felt the right thing to do, to try and put something back into the sport. Sport we love, trying to encourage other people and probably get my buzz out of other people playing at the highest level. So that was the reason I applied for the England under-25 job. Early days, but enjoying the challenge so far. Been really busy this year, actually. Been out and about all year. Been to see lots of different players. Went to Leamington for all the junior stuff. Some exciting talent out there as well, pal. Really good talent. So
it was actually going to be one of my questions, because I know you've been out and about, Stu. So I know I saw you down at Leamington, and I know we had a bit of a chat, and you were going to be coming to watch the junior singles, which is obviously hotbed of the talent that you're going to be looking to pick. So it's a great opportunity for you to see that. Were you very positive about what you saw down there?
I thought it was excellent, really good. I think I actually won the under-25 singles way back well in 1992, and I just think since then the talent at that age, I don't think I was anywhere near as good as those guys. I mean, they're just exceptional, some of them. It was really good to see, especially when you consider that the last under-25 international series, if we're going to be running the same format next year, half the team are missing, so they're all too old. So it's great for England to have so much talent, at your disposal. So yeah, some really good players. I saw the under-25 singles, or pretty much all of it. I saw the under-25 pairs. I went for the White Rose, and exceptional, pal. Really good.
I sort of we've discussed it a few times before, and I think it's a one of those which I'm still a bit of a believer that talent is certainly there, but it needs somebody to grab a lot of them by the scruff of the neck and start to learn the game. You look back at some of the teams in the past, a lot of those players were well ahead of the time because of who they came through the ranks with. And we've talked in the past about how the sport used to be all about you'd build the head first, and then you'd construct the head and then play the attacking shots. And we know the game's advanced a little bit more now, so they attack a lot earlier. But I still think there's a lot of them out there who have blatantly got the talent and the technical side of it's there, but the nous of when to play the shots and really needs drumming into them, because that for me is why you're maybe not seeing some of the under-25s getting to the latter stages of the men's tournament, so to speak. I don't know whether you agree with that, Stu, or whether that sort of showed itself when you were watching any of the games.
I think the whole game's come on, hasn't it? So you could say the under-25 standard has increased, but I think overall the standard of bowls has increased. Everyone's playing that much better, and it's so much harder to get to the last stages. So you've got that to contend with. But yeah, I do agree with you that there is this. As soon as you show a little bit of something at under-25 level, the counties now are very quick to play you back end. And whilst that, the counties probably need that, I'm not sure that's always the best thing for the juniors, because you get them playing perhaps before they're built heads. Like you said, they do attack early, and which, when it comes off, is great and it's very enjoyable to watch. But, there's a lot of big shots dropped, a lot of big ends. So you could drop big ends by not building your heads. Yeah, that is something that we will be talking to the team about. It's just that professionalism, isn't it? I think we mature, don't we, as we get a little bit older and we get a bit more experienced. But we'll try and share that experience with them. And we'll try and get these guys working with the high performance squad as much as we can to give them that experience. If we can, we can share the experience of the wider squad, the international players and the high performance players. So we'll see what we can do to help them.
Yeah, definitely. I'm sure, and like I say, I'm sure you've got a great team to obviously do that. And it's like I say, it's not a put down of the players in any shape or form. I just think you've got players there who are very good, but could be very, very good.
It's time for these lads to step up now, isn't it? It's next generation of bowlers.
Absolutely.
Let's have the next lot through. And I think the opportunity there next year, like I say, if we're looking at another, this is off the top of my head, but maybe 10, 12, 14 new caps at under 25 level, there's an opportunity there for people to come and get some experience, at a younger age. And I think it'd be brilliant for England bowls. It's a really exciting time for them, really exciting.
It's a fantastic job to be walking into. So you must, like I say, it must be lovely to think that you've got the talent of England to pick from, because, we are spoilt with regards to what we've got, because we're obviously the bigger country of the British Isles. And it must be just a nice task to think that hopefully in 5-10 years' time, you'll see that knowledge and experience and work that you do with these lads blossom into potential Commonwealth Games players or medalists or world medalists.
Yeah, how rewarding would that be, to be the one that's discovered the next Jamie Chesney or Jamie Walker or Sam Tom? Wouldn't that be great to be the person who's discovered that talent and watch them thrive through internationals and then on to high performance stuff? It'd be incredible, yeah. So that's the plan. I'm on the lookout, guys.
I'm too old now. I'm too old.
Only just though, Richie. Only just. I was just thinking when Stu said he won the under 25s in '92. That was only 2 years before you won it. You must have been each other at Worthing, surely.
Yeah.
To recognise each other, you must have both had brown hair then.
Yeah. I think I was only about 2 or 3 at the time.
Youngest winner ever, I reckon.
Yeah.
So are you in the role by yourself, Stuart, or are you sort of like going to get sort of like wingmen to advise you or to help you?
To be fair, we see everybody that works kind of with Kirk and with John McGuinness as kind of all part of the high performance team. And when we say high performance, we mean anyone that's represented England, really. So whether that be junior internationals, men and women, senior internationals, high performance, the disability side of things. We're all in it together, all there to help each other along the way. Plus, of course, we have the regional selectors too. I've also got quite a few contacts throughout England in different counties, people that have probably represented England, in the past, and perhaps people from my era of the game who I'm happy to go to for some advice in their local areas, and I've already had a number of names sent to me to keep an eye on, so which is great. And I'd encourage that kind of thing. Get the names on the table. Let's get out and see them. And then, they get that 1 shot or 2 shots or whatever it is to have a real chance at making the grade. So, yeah, that's kind of how it's going to work, I think.
When Davey took on the county manager's team at Durham, I had a discussion with him and I said to him, the job can either be easy or it can be hard. It's hard if people's in your ear all the time telling you, do this, do that, do that. And I says, be your own person and make your own decisions, because at the end of the day, it comes back to you.
Yeah.
This is why we've only won 2 out of 43 so far. We're getting there. We're getting
there. Like, I think the 2 that were won, you were missing.
Brilliant. You're right. You're absolutely right. I mean, you do have to make your own choice at the end of the day, but that was the idea about getting out. So it's about getting the names, because like I said, I've been out the game for a few years, not on the indoor circuit, but on the outdoor circuit. I've been out the game for a few years, and kids develop quickly, don't they? Or they might drift out the game just as quickly if we don't look after them. So things change so quick. I need to be on top of it. So that was the idea, really. Get the names to me. I'll get out and see these guys, and then let's see who impresses. But already got a long short list. So it's looking healthy. But it's kind of, Richie, it's more of I'm trying to take a bit of a holistic view on this. Whilst we want to win the junior series, we want the next group of international players as well. That's the bigger picture.
When I first started, when you play for the county, it used to be you get one strike and you were out. So like,
Was that just you, or was that like?
Well, that was with the people. Then I got 2 strikes. I got 2, maybe 3 strikes at the time, and all because I knew the selector. He was a member of our club. He pushed us in. There will be more from Stuart later in the show. Now we catch up with the new English outdoor singles champion, Devon's Sam Tolchard.
So, on the show, we've got one of my long-time friends and recent adversary, Mr. Sam Tolchard. So, Sam, great to have you on. Really appreciate you coming on the podcast.
Cheers, Davey. It's good to be here.
So, how's things? To your long stint down at Leamington, how many were you down there in?
I was quite lucky because most of them were the first week. So I had obviously singles, pairs, triples, and then I got to go home for a few days and then went back for the 2-wood. And that was me done. So, which was obviously played off in one day. So that was pretty quick. Yeah, it was really good. I really enjoyed it. But since then, I haven't really played. We had 4 days in there in the Four Nations thingy. And apart from that, I haven't played since. So on to indoors now.
So just off the top of my head, you did pretty well in the pairs. You got to the final. You won the 2.
Yeah.
Was it the semis of the triples or the final of the triples?
We lost the semis to Ed.
And you were obviously extremely, extremely lucky in the singles as well. You wanted to get over the line in that one. That was the first time in, what was it? How many years was it since you won your first singles, national singles?
2008, so 13 years. So
13 years. How old were you then, Sam, when you won your first one?
19, a big gap. I wasn't overly close in between those years to winning it. So it was nice to get back to the final.
So you were 19-year-old. What age were you when you started, Sam?
I probably started indoors when I was 5, and then I started outdoors probably wasn't until I was about 7 or 8, just because the greens are so heavy. Moving
off the balls for a second, obviously you've come from a family sporting background as well, haven't you? Do you want to give just a little bit of understanding about that? Because balls wasn't the only sport you played, was it?
I was lucky enough to play most sports when I was younger. My family were pretty big into cricket, so my uncle played for England, my cousin played for New Zealand, other uncle played for county cricket for Leicester and professional football, and dad played second 11 cricket at Leicester, so they were all at Leicester at the same time. Yeah, I played cricket up until I was about 17, 16. Did play for like Devon Colts up till then. The way bowls got when you were that sort of age, had to choose one or the other, and it's probably slightly easier to go further at bowls than it is to go further at cricket, which is obviously pretty obvious. A few more people play cricket. That's the truth.
So on that basis, do you feel that having that family sporting background, do you think that's been a massive help for you with the way that you conduct yourself in how you play bowls now at international level?
Yeah, definitely. I was, like I say, when I was younger, I was really lucky to have dad up until, unfortunately, passed away when I was 15. But from my younger years of all the sport I played and having him there and my uncles as well, they moved down from Leicester and London way. And I was always around them. Yeah, you had no option but to get your head down, concentrate, nothing but giving it your all, basically. So, and you could never switch off with them. Otherwise, they were on your case straight away. So having a background like that definitely does majorly help, for sure.
To make that decision as well must have been a pretty hard one, was it? Because the comparison between the two sports, one is classed as a potential elite sport in this country. The other one has a long way to go to get anywhere near that. Was it just that opportunity that you thought?
Yeah, I mean, I was really lucky outdoors. I got in the junior team when I was 15. So I was already a little way. I've been in that team for a year or so. But I really miss playing other sports, to be honest. Like, I try and play golf when I can. I watch all the IPLs and all the 2020 cricket, all the 50-over cricket, all the test cricket. And I do really, really miss playing it, to be honest. But there's always that part of you, isn't there? Like, you watch Wimbledon, you suddenly think you could be really good at tennis, don't you? And it's like that when you watch cricket, you're like, oh, do you reckon I could have made it on there?
Well, I watch bowls and I think that myself.
You'll get there one day, Rich. Don't you worry. Before I'm going to chuck you over to Richie, because I know he's got a couple of questions for you as well. So we've had loads of chats in the past, Sam, as you know, when we've been away and that. And one question I don't think I've ever asked you is, who was your sort of go-to guy? Who was the one who taught you the most in the bowl circles, would you say? Who did you look up to?
Been loads, I guess. Without a doubt, Dad would have been the one who I looked up to when I was youngest, because we played at some quite strong clubs. You had people like you remember John Wickham, Roy Johnson? Like, we were around the same club as them, and I was really lucky to have Dad choose to play with us in like the county pairs or national pairs from when I was about 8. So it's where he could have been playing with those guys. So yeah, definitely Dad's the one I look up without a doubt. But there were probably loads of people around my way who have all been really good to me throughout the years.
Cumbria, I always sort of get on about Cumbria, the way the players have come from nowhere. Devon, where have you all come from? Like yourself, Jamie, Louis, I mean, the women's side, Natalie, Harriet, Sophie, Nicola, where have you all appeared from?
Obviously, Louis appeared from Somerset.
Right. Oh, well, I didn't know that.
Jamie Chesney appeared from Norfolk.
So well, there's 2 foreigners.
Devon probably can't take it for the credit for them. But I think from when I started first out at Teambridge, which isn't there, unfortunately, any longer, we probably, on a Saturday morning, we probably had 30, 40 juniors down there every weekend. Right. Every Saturday morning. It was so busy. And there's so many lads out of that group there that have gone on to play internationals. And that's probably why Devon's Middleton Cup team's been so good over the years. Like, we had, like, obviously me, like Ian Leslie, Ryan Whitlock, Lee Hayward, James Webber, like the list goes on. There's so many that come from that Teambridge set up down there. And yeah, I think, like I said before, that's one of the main reasons Devon's been so strong, especially in the middle. And I'm not sure the junior sections are anything like that now, but when I was first, like between 8 to 15 years old, we had an incredible junior section down there.
Moving on to your home life, Sam, you've been so successful. Do you find it difficult to balance your home life, especially now that you're trying to get into the Commonwealth Games squad again? You're elite, you're out weekends, commitments here, there and everywhere. Is it difficult to find a middle ground?
Yeah, I mean, balancing home life with bowls is really hard. Personally, I work for myself as well, so I run my own electrical company. So yeah, it's a bit difficult, especially with us not being a massive sport and like there's no loss of earnings and stuff like that. So as much as I can take days off when I want, it costs money. It is, yeah, and it's not just that, is it? It's dealing with customers and stuff like that. They don't really appreciate you going off for 3 or 4 days at a time, do they?
Now, I know one of your career highlights will be getting the big man hug off Mr. Bolt down at Leamington. But what would be your career highlight
so far? I don't know. I think winning the national singles, obviously not just because of Daly, but when I won it in probably 2008, that's pretty special. To do something like that on your own is really good. And I'd say other highlight would probably have been winning the stuff I've won with my club, so the national 2-4s and the national top club, because that's just a totally different feeling to anything I've had before, because I played at King's since I was like 8, and I've been with all those guys for it was like probably nearly 20 years before we actually ever won something. So we've been through a lot of low times, tried really hard for a long time, and to finally get through. And when we won that first we won the 2-4s first, the feeling being with all these guys you've spent so much time with over the years, it was really, really special. So the 2-4s and top club moments were really, really good, to be honest.
And the biggest disappointment?
Biggest disappointment, all the Commonwealth Games. I lost 3 semis now, which is obviously the worst round to lose, apart from the final, maybe. For me, it's the worst round so far. So I think we've lost in the last bowl. I've lost a tie break in the singles, in the semi, and me and Davey played the 4s in Gold Coast and obviously got off to a flyer against Scotland, and unfortunately we couldn't see it at home. So definitely the Commonwealth Games would be the disappointment for sure.
And is it true, going back to the Gold Coast, that Davey hit the buffet table?
I don't think that happened, did it, Davey?
No, definitely.
I must admit, the funniest moment of my life was we got in the lift from breakfast. I think I can say this, can't I?
Yeah, that's okay.
So me, Louis, Jamie Chesney and young Davey we've been in the food hall in the mornings, and really what's been the Commonwealth Games food hall is like humongous, because there's thousands of athletes going in there, and you can get any food you want at any time of the day. So Bolty's had breakfast, and he's come out with, just as a side to take back to the room, he's come out with 2 lots of, what was it, chocolate forest gatto or something?
I can't remember this.
And so we're getting in the lift and into our accommodation, and we're waiting for it to come down, and out comes three of the netball girls, which was like 3 of them were like the ones we knew. So it's like Jiva Mentor, goalkeeper, Chelsea Pittman, and someone else, don't know who the other girl was. And literally, Davey tried to hide the chocolate cakes behind his back in the lift. And she saw him, and she was like, "It's a bit early for cake," and because it was like before 9 o'clock in the morning, I think. and he goes, and he sort of says something like, "Oh, it's for the cat." We're in a Commonwealth Games village, and he's telling 3 netball girls he's got cake for the cat as he's going up to like the 4th floor.
Aye. You get these stray cats kicking about these days.
Her face was absolutely a pit.
I bet mine was as well.
As you were trying to hide it behind your back. Brilliant.
Yeah, thanks for that, Sam. I think I have told that story once before, but thanks for reminding us.
Remember it like it was yesterday.
We've been talking to Stu, and we're talking about he's got the under-25 job and work to do, and I made a comment along the lines of there's a lot of lads out there with a talent, but they just haven't. I think they need honing with regards to their gameplay and game management, which I think will, take some of the really good technical ballers maybe up to that next level and be able to make the senior squad in the past. And I know we were discussing after you fluked the win in the final of the national singles, that. It was an interesting conversation because, funny, 33 years I've been playing, and something you said to us was, you said that if I was to draw front toucher, the first thing in your mind is to try and stop us from getting the second, because, it's like that's sort of your gameplay. I don't know if you want to just sort of expand on that a little, because that's what I was saying. I was saying you never, ever give players a chance a lot of the times. And that for me boils down to your success, because just when you think you've got your in ahead, you'll play that shot, which is just the clever shot to play, and not necessarily to get the shot, but you will cut it down from a 3 down to a 1 or whatever that might be.
Yeah, I think I would say it's a game plan, but whenever I play singles, I think the most important thing for me, especially 4-ball singles, if you only concede 1s, it's a long way for you to beat us, isn't it? I mean, you're probably going to drop scores in there, but 3s and 4s are generally what hurts you. So I think if you bowl front touch your first bowl, if I draw one right alongside it, that is almost, although you're probably still going to win the end, it's quite deflating because you're cutting someone down straight away. And I just think being tight in a game of singles, and like I say, I feel if I only drop 1s in a game, or mostly 1s, I feel like I'm going to win because I'm confident I'm going to pick scores up, if you know what I mean. But it's about being patient and just trying to restrict someone as much as possible. That's the way I personally see it. And when I go out to play, I'm always telling myself to be as tight as possible and don't give anything away, because that's what kills you, I think.
Were you a rash player as a youngster? Because we all say when you're a younger player, you play with no fear whatsoever. So there's times, crikey, some of my games in the past, which were like 34, 28, and it was like 70 odd shots or so, 60 odd shots in a game. And it's because you bank on getting a 5 if you drop a 4 or whatever that might be. Have you always had that mentality in your games, or would you say you were sort of a little bit more flamboyant as a junior?
You probably were as a youngster, to be honest. I'd say that starts from my sporting background from before and playing with Dad. Like if you dropped a 3 or 4, I'd probably get booted in the legs. So do you know what I mean? So it was, I think from that age, I think I was always quite like that, to be honest. Probably when you're a kid, you go for stuff a little bit more, don't you? As well, you probably err on the side of caution a bit the older you get. But I'd say I've probably been like that. I definitely was the same when I was probably 19 the first time on the singles. Not quite so much, but outdoor bowls, I think patience is the most important thing, because it doesn't go your way, does it, for large periods of time? And the more you chase things, generally you make it worse, don't you? They're the games you lose when you sort of chase it a little bit and it goes wrong and you gift shots away. So I think sometimes you just got to be prepared to be very patient, especially outdoors. Even when it's really hard and you don't want to be patient and you want to have a go at something where there's not going to be a decent outcome. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes you've just got to try and bite your lip and think, I'll get a better chance at some point.
Catch part 2 of our chat with Sam later in the show.
So, competition time, and we always thank our sponsors, Bowls as Bowls, Lean to Succeed, and now XX20. We've got a little bit of an apology to make because I think we are 2 competitions behind. What we're going to do is, instead of doing 2 individual competitions for 2 separate prizes, you'll have seen in the past where we've now and again done a little bit of a pop-up competition for multiple draws to win multiple prizes. Because we're going to be doing a slightly new format for the competitions for XX20, we're going to do one at the start of every month. Keep your eyes open. The Wrong Bias page, it may be a question, it may be a quiz, a riddle, could be anything, but we're going to do a little bit of a multi-draw game, give some prizes away to make up for the 2 competitions that are outstanding.
it's time for the second part of our chat with the new Wales England under-25 top man, Stuart Thomas. Is the youth academy still going?
Yeah, I mean, the plan is, I've had a number of conversations about that already, but nothing official has been discussed with me as yet. But yeah, definitely will be involved in that if and when that happens. Absolutely will. We need to create a journey really for these people. So whichever age you start it from, really, there needs to be a journey all the way through, and that gap between under 25 level and senior international as well. That needs plugging.
It's a massive jump. An international team, the same, but that under 25 to senior is a big jump. And it takes a special player to make that jump from one to the other, because we've seen a lot disappear over the years.
Yeah, we have. We've seen a lot disappear because perhaps we haven't nurtured that talent as much as well, Yeah. And you come out of the under 25 squad, and if you don't make the international trials, I suppose there's this feeling that, well, that's kind of it. That's my bit done now. And people drift out the game then, don't they? Especially if they don't get national success. Maybe, like you said, they don't play for the successful counties or whatever. So yeah, we can easily lose real raw talent, and we need to be able to nurture that and bring it on. Other sports are ahead of us with that. You've got rugby and cricket with England A teams and test matches and stuff, and they do this. They bring on those players that are just below that international level, and that's certainly something I'd like to see that Bowls England do a little bit more of.
One question for you, Stu, before you go, and it's probably, I think probably Davey might agree, it's possibly the hardest part of the job that you're probably going to come with is telling a player you're not playing the next game.
Yeah.
Are you looking forward to that, or is that just, are you going to delegate it, mate? Or slip a bit of paper under his jaw?
Yeah, what are you doing, Rich? Are you
Yeah, we'll podcast him, mate. Tell him, we'll put a special out, newsflash.
Those who are dropped, watch this.
If your name's on this list, you're out.
No, I mean, it's a great point, isn't it? I tell you, just I don't know how we are for time, but my own personal experience of this, not necessarily at junior level, but at senior international level. I mean, as I said, I had one season in the team. The next season, I was picked in the trial match, and you could see from the trial match the way they picked it that I was going to be dropped. But, no one said anything to me. And after the match, no one picked the phone up to me and said, you didn't quite play well enough, or you're not what we're looking for, or any of this. And I found out when the team was published that I'd been dropped. And that's something that we're just not going to let that happen. We just can't let that happen. Because, I mean, I was chatting to Kirk, had a similar experience. And we both said we both nearly gave the game up at that stage. So there's no way we'd do that. So it's a difficult conversation with people, but we have to have it. And, and hopefully people will be honest enough to go, well, do you know what? At least I got told, and I didn't play that well, or I didn't do myself justice. But that doesn't mean, you don't become a bad player overnight, do you? If you're good enough to play for England, you're still good enough for the next year, really. You just perhaps didn't quite make that level, or perhaps other people played better, or so you're still part of our thinking. But and no doubt you'll get another opportunity. But then you have to go out and grasp that. You have to go out and win something again, perhaps, to get back in. And that's the. So we will have those conversations with them. I think at junior level it would be me that has them with them, and at senior level I think Kurt will have those conversations with these people. So
touching back on what you said earlier on about losing people from the under 25 to senior level is possibly the reason people have sort of like been dropped or what have you, never been told, like you say, they become disillusioned and this is, oh well, that's me, finished, I'm away type of thing.
That happens, doesn't it? We need to stop that, don't we? We need to stop it.
I think you will learn so much about a player as well, because the international players, if they're dropped, they will go away, they will graft, they will do everything they can to come back at you and say, you're not going to drop it this time. That's the difference between your top end bowlers and those who will disappear and not make senior level. It's those who can handle the disappointment and learn from the fact that there is a reason why you've been dropped. Something has gone wrong. You haven't particularly played how you showed you were going to play in the trials, or whatever that might be, and that's where you will learn so much by them going away and showing what they're made of. And I think that's really, really important for you, I think.
I agree. Yeah, totally, 100%. Absolutely.
Fantastic, Stu. Obviously, we both wish you a massive success in that. And
thank you.
Pressure. Obviously, the results will come through over the next year or two, and it's all on you, mate. So we'll get you back on in a couple of years' time, and you'll either be sticking that chest out, or you'll be crying, and we'll stick the knife in and twist it a bit. And
yeah. Well, I'll either be back on celebrating or I just won't be back on.
So moving on from that one, Stu, I know we want to just get a little conversation in about this weekend. So moving away from the outdoors into the indoor scenario now that the season started. And weekend, your own club, Daventry Indoor Bowling Club. Do you want to give us a little rundown of what's happening this weekend?
I was asked. I joined Daventry Indoor Bowls Club about 2 years ago, really just to practice because it's the nearest club to where I live. But I was not paying my nationals there, but I just joined to really practice, use the facilities, and eventually got more and more involved in the club. And they asked me if I'd go on their board and be a director, and I agreed to do that. One of the things we wanted to do was really kind of build the Daventry Indoor brand. So during lockdown, we've done absolutely stacks for this bowls club. So we've launched a new website. Well worth having a look at, guys. I do believe that we probably have the best club website in England now, just in terms of its branding and how on point it is. You know, you won't find photos of the back of people's heads on it. I'm very proud of it. We've also launched Facebook and Instagram pages. We've now got more Instagram followers than the EIBA, which is interesting. Okay. And we're regularly getting lots of interaction on Facebook too. And that brings us on to this weekend, really. Working with Bowls is Bowls to really try and, I suppose, make bowls accessible for as many people as we possibly can in our local community. We're doing all of this, by the way, is this whole weekend event is to raise money for a charity ambitious about autism, which is very close to the heart of a number of the members and plus myself. Part of that raising money is to bring, it's actually, I would say this, is to bring you, to the club. David, so I know you're involved, and also Alex Marshall down to the club, and we're going to do a bit of a masterclass session with you folks, get members to play against you for a small donation to the Ambitious About Autism charity. And we've also got the England charity team, a team of people that have been playing charity matches now for over 10 years against Scotland and have raised over £100,000 over the last 10 to 12 years. And because of COVID, we didn't have an England-Scotland match last year, so I've arranged for the England team to come and play against the Daventry team, and all proceeds will go to charity. It should be a fantastic day. Lots going on. We've got a local musician there, and we've got sort of auctions and raffles and one thing and another. So that's all this weekend at Daventry Indoor Bowls Club. So probably it might be a little bit late by the time this goes out to get people to come down, but nevertheless, watch this space for the next stuff. We'll be continuing really with these ideas to try and get not only Daventry Bowls Club, Indoor Bowls Club on the map, but also for our sport in general, to try and encourage new members to take up our wonderful sport.
Just to reiterate, I'm not sure when this will go out, but it's the 24th and 25th. It's an amazing amount of money raised for charity. Just going to obviously put it in there now. If anybody does pay money to play against me, I'm going to lose on purpose because it's all for charity. So I'm all heart when it comes to that type of thing. So it will not be the case that it's anything to do with ability. It's all for charity. So
I'll tell you what, if he plays a small child, if he plays a small child, that kid's not going to get a shot. He's going to send that Ben home with tears in his eyes.
They've got to learn early. If they're going to lose, they're going to lose hard. And then the next step is they're going to get 5 off his next time I come down.
Brilliant. Excellent.
And I'm taking the sweets off them as well. So because I'm
No, we're delighted to have you down. To be fair, we're absolutely delighted to have you and Alex down. You're welcome anytime to the club, as you know, because you've been there before, and we'll do all we can to make you feel welcome.
I know you will, Stu. And to be honest with you, it's for me, it's about Alex. It's fantastic to have Alex there. It's a huge thing for the club. I'm there just to facilitate and meet and greet and do the admin side of things. So it's lovely to be there.
Is there a buffet on, Stuart?
Yeah.
I'm curious here.
There better be.
There's method in his madness at times, this fella, There's
no buffet. You're driving Alex down and you're facilitating, Mackay. But no, it'll be great. I've had some great times at the club. I've been there 2 or 3 times now over the last few years. I think it's nice to have, an opportunity there where we can just come and do something for the clubs, and I think me personally, I think it needs to be done more with some of our elite players and top players, because, it is a great thing to be able to have a little bit of a challenge against them. And any new members coming and joining your club, what a fantastic experience it's going to be to meet Alex and, have a chat with somebody who they've only seen on the TV winning world championship after world championship. Just reverting back to the under-25 role as well, obviously just reiterate again, wish you the best of luck with that, and best of luck for the future. And I'm sure at some point we'll be having you back on and we'll be talking about the success of the international team and hopefully obviously the success of your indoor club as well, which would be great.
Oh, brilliant. Thank you. No, I really appreciate it. Really appreciate the opportunity to speak to you guys. And if your listeners want to just get on and have a little look at what the Daventry Indoor Bowls Club are doing. If anybody needs any kind of guidance or help, I mean, I'm quite fortunate really, because my other half, Michelle, she's absolutely an expert on all things marketing. So it really helps. She's done most of the work, if I'm honest. I just take the credit. And
how did she manage that with all the ironing and the washing and everything as well? You must have a life of rally.
Move away from him, Stuart. Disown them comments, Stuart. Don't get involved.
Oh my Lord!
He won't edit it neither.
No, leave it in. She won't mind. But so if any other clubs want any advice or anything about what we've done, then just get them to get in touch, and we'll help them out a little bit. So
as much as you thanking us for coming on, we appreciate you coming on and having a chat with us as well.
You're absolutely welcome, guys.
Thank you, Matt. Cheers.
Take care, Matt.
See you, folks. Cheers. Bye bye.
Now we kick off part 2 of our chat with Sam Tolchard with the Commonwealth Games.
So I'm not even going to do the sitting on the fence thing and saying if you picked for the Commonwealth Games in Leamington, obviously when you picked for the Commonwealth Games in Leamington. Another big chance for you, mate. And obviously, one thing you won't know obviously yet is, I know you're going through the things and you pick little bits and pieces up as to potential formations, but you'll not know until the team's picked. But nice opportunity down at Leamington, which you know so well, to potentially break that duck as far as your Commonwealth Games medals is concerned. Do you think about that a great deal? Or are you just going to take it as it comes?
Yeah, at the minute I'm not thinking about it. Obviously, the most important thing is getting selected to start with, which we've obviously got a squad of 6 in the men at the minute, and obviously one person's going to miss out. It's a really, really strong squad. I think it's probably, if not the strongest squad I've probably been a part of. Whoever doesn't get in will be devastated for sure, because there's a case for everyone to be in. As far as it being at Leamington, obviously that should be our best chance for sure. Little bit of a shame they've relayed the greens. We've probably had 7 or 8 years of, you could probably go on every rink and know what it would do. And we played on it this year, and it's going to take time to bed in the green, having been relayed. Not that I know anything about greens, but they did, especially like A green. The main rinks felt like they played quite a bit different. So for whoever's selected, I think it's really key that as soon as the outdoor season starts next year, they're probably playing on those greens to get to know them as best as possible, because it's our home games and you want to be going on there like it's your green back home, don't you, at your club? We should have an advantage going on that green, knowing exactly what it's going to do. So, yeah, obviously won a couple of bronzes, but I think you always think it's, before you get a medal, everyone says it would be great to medal. And then as soon as you get the bronze, it's like, well, actually, what's their place? Like, no one remembers their place. Yeah, it's nice to say you've done it or whatever, but it's all about winning, isn't it? So fingers crossed, get selected, and then do everything we can in the next, just under a year to prepare as best we can. And yeah, fingers crossed we'll...
You've had a shocker of a season, mate, so it's going to be touch and go as far as your place is concerned. I'm pretty confident. I might even stick 20 pence on you to get in the team, just as a...
You never know, do you? Say
you don't, but without any disrespect to the other lads, if you don't get in, then I'm packing in balls and I'm going to take up chess or something like that. Because
you said that last year, didn't you?
Well, I did.
Have you taken it up?
Did I not tell you I'm number 3 in the world of chess now?
I can just see... I've been watching the boxing this week, and they all, as soon as they come out of the ring, they're like all playing chess, aren't they? Like AJ and all that. Yeah. I can see you mixing in with them.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you,
a couple of rounds on the pads.
The next one is I'm going for the Tom Daly knitting. So next time you see us at Leamington, I'm going to be sitting in the top seats, and I'm going to be doing a bit of knitting. So I'll make you a nice blue top with Sam.
What are you knitting? Hot dogs.
Oh.
You and Louis.
Class. Just to round up, and Sammy, obviously, after let's look just past the Commonwealth Games. What's the ambition after that? What's your thoughts for the future? Where do you see yourself in 10 years' time? And I know it's a hard thing to say. You never know what's going to happen around the corner. But have you got any ambitions in the sport that you would love to get to?
I don't know, but my ambition in sport would be Commonwealth Games gold medal, because I think that's probably looked at as the highest thing. So that would probably be my thing. So I'd say trying to win one next year if selected, and then I don't know. I think see how I feel if that was to happen. We'll see how we feel, because I don't know. It might change some things. I don't know. Don't know. You've always got burning desire to have a go at other sports, but we'll see.
Just a quick one. Have you ever gone into the qualifiers for the singles?
PBA?
Yeah.
I've played qualifiers about twice. It never seems to sit very well because it's always like end of September, isn't it? Or early October. And because obviously we play a lot outdoors and the international trials are generally right at the end of the season where we've been lucky enough to be in like national top club finals, which were last week. It just never really seems to fit right. And I quite like to have a couple of weeks off, not that this year's going to happen. So I've probably played it twice, but I don't know. I don't really follow it, to be honest. I think me and Louis got through in the pairs about 4 or 5 years ago, but we haven't entered it since. Yeah, for us, it'd be easier if the qualifiers were a bit more into the season or something, really. Because you either end up going, the times I have gone there, you probably had like 1 roll-up or 2 roll-ups because you've just come straight from outdoors.
That's it, yeah.
But obviously it's difficult when you arrange them, obviously fitting them into the season, I guess.
Great stuff, mate. Well, it's been a great pleasure, mate. I always love having a chat with you. I think you're going
to ask me about the formats.
Oh yeah, we forgot about.
You can delete that bit if you want.
Yeah, Sam,
forgot about the formats. Go on,
delete that bit.
Sam, what do you think about the formats? Yeah, so just a quick one, 2 minutes. What was your thoughts this season? I mean, I know you're not fully aware of what they've changed back to. So, there was a lot of complaints about the formats. It's obviously been listened to in a lot of respects because it's now gone back to 4 bowl pairs, but it's now 18 ends. It's gone back to the fours has gone back to 18 ends. The triples is now 3 bowl again. Is that remained at 15 ends, Richie?
No, that's 18 as well.
That's 18 as well. So that's gone back. What was your general thoughts this season about them? You've had a great season, so it hasn't affected too much with regards to results, but
personally, just my opinion, but I found the formats really quite refreshing, to be honest. I thought the games are probably about 2 hours, aren't they? Roughly, maybe a little bit over. It was quite nice. You start at 6, you finish at 8 rather than 9, half 9. Like I say again, personally, I enjoyed the lesser bowl formats. I've played it a bit with the Commonwealth Games and stuff, and for me, like the state of the greens down our way, it's a lot nicer to be playing 3 bowl pairs and 2 bowl triples when the greens are heavy and narrow, and you play 3 bowl triples and there's 18 bowls at the other end and you're just humping into bowls, and I just think a lot of skill is lost sometimes outdoors with that. But like I say again, that's just my opinion. It's not right, it's not wrong, and everyone's entitled to their own opinion, aren't they? But yeah, personally, I preferred the formats this year,
and that's exactly what we've always said on this podcast. And I know you've listened to the past, Sammy. We have opinions about things which are probably not agreed.
Well, as bowlers, what do we all moan about after a game of bowls? We moan about luck, don't we?
Yeah.
I think the lesser bowls takes so much luck out of the game. You don't get quite as many flukes happening because there's just not as many bowls on the rink to come off, is there? So personally, that's one reason probably why I've enjoyed it. I felt drawn and played better on the day. You probably got more of what you deserve.
And I agree with you. I've said the same thing, Sam. I've preferred it. I've not been a lover of triples for a lot of years because I just think it gives that bowler one extra ball to just lash through a head and anything.
And you know how the heads pack up outdoors.
Yeah.
And how many times do you play a game and your only shot is to try and be hitting a bowl up 5 feet short, and generally you can come off anything then, can't you? So yeah.
And that's it. And that's what I was saying at the end of the day. We've all got our opinions. There's a lot of people who don't like it. I think there's been some unfair criticism to say that it's been all about adapting to the elite side of the sport, which, my argument has been, if you don't try something, you'll never ever find out whether it's successful or not. And I always said, let's see what happens the following year and then make the judgment, because if you don't try it and you don't see what it's like, how are you ever supposed to have an opinion or be able to decide whether it's a good thing or a bad thing? They've obviously listened. They've put it back. They've tweaked it a little bit, so it's still a slightly shorter game. And they've obviously gone with democracy, because I do know a lot of people who prefer the shorter format, but then there's obviously been a high majority who prefer that longer game and like to come in at 6 o'clock and not get back in the house until 9:30.
Yeah.
And I agree with you. I love the fact that you could literally turn up and you're back in the house, and I was, watching me knitting show on TV by 8:30 in the evening. So, it's...
I'm going to enter them either way, so whatever. But I thought that probably the only one was the 4s. 15 ends just seemed really, really short. Not just saying that because that was what we didn't get through in, but it seemed so short. You play 7 ends and you're halfway through. Do you know what I mean? And
we said it a lot in the live stream, and it was like, once you got to that 9-10 ends mark, if you weren't in the game,
pressure on you, doesn't it? Yeah.
Because you were so limited. But then it's like, again, over the years, in 5 years' time, you probably wouldn't even have this conversation because you would learn to manage the game. I'm still a firm believer that I would prefer to see a longer ends and format, but bring respots in. I think that would shorten the game a heck of a lot and bring a different dimension to the game. I've always been a pro like spots. I think it was a great introduction to the sport, and even if it's just a case of it goes onto the tee, I just think it's a better way, and it's a better thing for the spectators than killing an end and having to start all over again. But no, it is what it is, and there'll be loads of people who are for it, there'll be loads of people who are against. It's people's opinion, and as I said in the last podcast, there's just a little bit too much nasty criticism out there, which I think is uncalled for and is just not needed. Doesn't help anybody, it doesn't help the sport. Hopefully the new changes will be a lot more positive for people, and we'll see how next season goes.
Well, I think, talking about Leamington, I mean, obviously you were there. How much better did it look, and how much more of an event did it actually seem playing there this year? Like, I think that was the first year since Worthing you actually felt you were in some form of atmosphere when you were playing a final. I've played Falls finals before when there's been 6 people sat on white plastic chairs in the corner between A and B, and you felt like you were just playing the first round in a park, basically. So I think a lot of the changes were really positive. So I think the new guy, John, who's come in, he's trying to do something and trying to move it forward. When was the last time bowls really did move forward? It's been a while. I just think he's got a really good background with what he did with England hockey, etc. And I think we've just got to support it, to be honest. Yeah. And if he can move the game forward, it'll be fantastic.
Absolutely. I do agree, Sam. And like I say, I think we just need to get over this whole shock factor of, oh my God, they've changed something because it's been there for so many years. Why are you changing it? There's reasons for everything, and you've got to try things for it to potentially improve. It may go backwards and it may not work, and that's when it can be looked at and it can be revisited, and maybe some of the older formats will be the better for the sport going forward. But no, it's good to hear you, mate. And like I say, it's been great having you on. I'll give Richie the final word from me, mate. I joke about it, but as I've said before, genuinely over the moon for you for obviously winning the singles. I wasn't disappointed in any shape or form. One of me great friends in the game, and for me, sort of just an absolute class act. And I'll always said that I hate bigging you up. I really, because I know we've had a few scraps and that in the hotels in our time where we've had a few fun fights and that, and I always kick you all over the room, but I'm always fair when it comes to what I see, and I certainly learn a lot from you when I watch you play.
Thanks, mate. It's very kind of you. I was very lucky it rained, I think. Very lucky it rained.
Wish you all the best for the Commonwealth Games, mate. I know preempted your selection, but I hope you can get that gold medal. Which hopefully, fingers crossed. We'll not put the hex on you. I'm not going to predict that you'll get one because I tend to sort of like put the hex on people.
Always a pleasure, mate. And I'm sure we'll speak in the near future.
Yeah, take care. I'll see you at Nottingham.
Cheers, will do, mate.
Well done.
That's it. Cheers, guys.
Take care, mate.
Cheers, bye.
Right, another one wrapped up, mate. Show 34. Cracking little chat with Sam and Stuart. It's nice to hear the voice behind the person on the green that people up north probably have never heard speak. I would have thought Sam. Sam,
if you ever watch Sam play, he's very focused in everything he does. And having known Sam for a lot of years, I get on great with him. We have a great laugh, and it's nice to have that chat and people see that different side away from the competitive sporting side of Sam. He's a top lad, and it was great to have Stu on as well. We've wished him all the best for the under-25 job. Thought he came across really well with what his ideals are for the future, and definitely I would certainly say that the juniors are in good hands for the future as well.
Yeah, but it's good. we can get to see the personalities, which is the idea of the podcast, mate. It gives them an opportunity to see the other side of them from the bowling green. It's also good, when this podcast goes out, the long-awaited 2019-20 indoor final stages will be taking place in Nottingham. So it's great to see some indoor bowls action returning, following on from Bowls England's Leamington's event. What people have to remember is these events don't create themselves. They don't get organised by themselves. They don't just pop up. There's a lot of hard work goes behind the scenes. And we've mentioned it many, many, many times. This is why the bowlers shouldn't quibble about the affiliation fees, because this is what the Romans do for the sport.
Definitely, without a doubt. It's a lot of graft, a lot of preparation, and we are lucky enough just to be able to turn up there and grab our card and grab our stickers and walk onto the green and play bowls. But there's a lot, without a shadow of a doubt, there's a lot of headaches, there's a lot of head scratching, there's a lot of preparation goes into all of these championships, and certainly more so for the indoor side of things with this national championships. And I do believe they're still a bit restricted on numbers that they're allowed into the national championships to go and watch. So don't be too disappointed if you can't get to watch some of your players, but hopefully they'll accommodate as many as they can.
Now, people they're not believers when I say I actually do a bit of research to do this podcast for the episodes. And with this thinking that we had Sam on, and I'm going, Sam and Baldy, now they used to play in the under-25s. So I managed to dig out some photographs from the Bowls England under-25s archives. Now, I can see Sam being about maybe 15, 16-year-old, maybe he's looking, but 1997 at, hold on, he's into the Welsh pronunciation bit.
Oh, no way.
Llanandwy Dodd Wells.
Oh, my God.
Anyway, Mr. Bolt, middle row, he looks about 6-year-old. Can you remember it, mate?
I do. I remember that being my first ever test. It was what a team! What a team!
I've seen the names, mate. Aye, tremendous.
You'll see in that picture, and it just sort of goes back to the conversation we had with Stu. About that this current crop. Are they going to be the next Bondies, Newmans? It was anybody. If you've got that picture, it'd be great if you obviously post it up, because people see what that team was. Phenomenal. Yeah, and I think. At that time, I was so lucky when I came into that team, because we used to play an indoor test series against Wales, and we obviously played the outdoor British Isles series. And it was more of a disappointment in those days if you lost on one rink, never mind losing the championship, because the team was just phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. It's a small old world, mate, and the years don't half fly by. Pinch
the photograph off their website and I'll post it on it, mate. I'll see if I can blow it up a bit. Literally. Anyway, that's another one done, mate. Done and dusted. So everybody look after yourselves and keep yourselves safe.
Absolutely. Take care, all. Thank you for listening, and hope you've enjoyed the show.
This has been a Dodgy production.